Welcome back, everybody, and it is another week to reflect on football. Coincidentally, a loss for Arsenal, and look who's back in the building. Um, I mean, make of it what you wish, but yeah, smash the like button, hit the subscribe if you are new to the channel. As you can see, Dale is back with us. Dale, mate, how you doing? How's things?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Coming out of hibernation because Liverpool's so crap. I've got nothing to scream about. So, yeah, just come out of hibernation for the fact that Arsenal still can't get over the line in anything they ever do. So,
At least you're honest, mate.
Nah, to be fair, it wasn't that. I've been busy. But yeah, there's not been much to shout about on my side of things. So.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Sam Miller, Spiller, you've had time to obviously digest and reflect on Wembley. Sadly, we are going to have to get into it, but otherwise, how are things, mate?
Can you hear me? I don't know if my mic's working.
Yeah,
you're
on.
Right, sweet. Yeah, no, I'm all right, mate. Like I said, probably set ourselves up to fail there for that, didn't I? But
probably one of the worst clips ever.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that the rest of it you didn't put out because I could have taken some power. So
yeah.
Bad weekend.
Yeah, Lee's obviously been giving us some stick. Obviously Dale's gonna, I'm sure, getting some stick with us. But yeah, we're gonna start on Wembley. I'm gonna go to you, mate, because I know you was at the game. So I'm gonna get your thoughts first, and then we'll go to Dale, get a sort of outsider spin on it, and then yeah, I'll be honest, I don't want to go over it too much, but give me your thoughts on Sunday and how was the day out overall as well, besides the football, of course.
I mean, the atmosphere, everything was good. It was a good little build up. The pubs were heaving. Seemed like a lot of Arsenal fans, to be honest with you. And then we had to go actually into Wembley and watch the game of football, which was quite atrocious. Terrible first half. Felt like we were sussing each other out. Could have gone either way. And then the second half, fucking hell, seems like Pep put a rocket up them and they just came at us. We couldn't get out. It was men versus boys, to be honest with you. It was poor. It was so poor. I mean, before the game started, I saw the Lions. Thought, oh, here we go. Look at that defense. We can get at them. And then, yeah, I don't even know what to explain. I'm not disappointed in the result. I'm disappointed in the manner of the defeat. We didn't show any form of fight. It was a real opportunity here to go, toe to toe. Let's see what we got. We just rolled over and let them tickle us, really. So yeah, I'm just really disappointed.
Spot on, yeah. And you say about the manner, I think you mentioned that last week as well on the pod, actually, that you don't mind if we lose as long as we go out with a fight. And I do agree on that. I'm going to touch on it in a minute anyway. But yeah, I think the way we lost was just a bit embarrassing, to be honest. And City didn't even need to really play well. But Dale, let's get your thoughts on it as an outsider. Obviously, you've been, as a Liverpool fan, you've been match to match with City for a few seasons now. Now you get to see Arsenal in that play, and seeing them sort of try and go at it and match them. But what was your thoughts on Sunday?
To be fair, I didn't watch the game in its entirety. I was decorating, so I had it on the iPad and I was sort of flicking in between, so I didn't really get to see like the whole sort of game. But yeah, I think the biggest problem is I think it's the lack of threat that Arsenal got up front. I know the old saying is that obviously strikers win your games and defenses win your titles, which is probably going to be the sort of theme for the season. But I think in them one-off games, Champions League, second legs, finals, you kind of need the strikers to come to the fore in them games. And it's not so much about relying on your defense in them games. And I think that's just where Arsenal lack. I feel like if you get the first goal against Arsenal, you're probably not going to turn the game round, but vice versa. If Arsenal get the first goal, you're probably going to struggle to score. And I think a lot of the games Arsenal play in between now and the end of the season will rely on who scores first. And I think that will tip whichever way the game goes. And that's kind of how it felt. City got the first goal. All right, for a bit of luck, the keepers made a bit of a mistake, but I don't think to that point Arsenal really looked like scoring. I know they had the Kai Havertz chance, which was quite early, and I think Trafford made a couple of good saves, but other than that, I don't really, and again, I didn't watch the game in its entirety, but didn't really feel like Arsenal were going to score. And I think that's probably the biggest worry, is that in the Premier League, you can get away with it because it's not relied upon on 1 or 2 games. It's a 38 game season, so you're going to pick up more points than you drop. But in them one-off games, I just struggle to see how Arsenal are going to score enough goals, basically, to win them the games they need. But also, you've got to remember, you're going up against the most serial winner ever. Like, this is Pep Guardiola. It's Man City. It's still
Yeah.
it's a machine of a team still, isn't it? I know they're not at their free-flowing best as they've been in previous years, but they know how to win top trophies and they know how to get over the line. And I think it was a bit of a lesson for Arteta in the second half, especially. I think Pep kind of flexed his muscles a little bit and thought, I know you're, the up and coming manager or the one that's sort of being seen as, the manager that's going to go and win things. But don't forget that I'm still here and I still rule the land when it comes to winning trophies. So, it's probably, if you're going to lose a final, it's probably that you'd probably want to lose that one. It's probably the lowest of the sort of priority list. But again, I just think what does it do? The knock-on effect of, does it give Man City the sort of lift that they need to go and chase you down, or does it give Arsenal the fire in the belly to not feel that feeling again? I think we'll see which way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. It's chalk and cheese, and we were touching on this last week on the knock-on effect, and what that means now. We've got a bit of a break now, obviously, with the international break, and we are going to touch on England shortly. And then we've got the FA Cup, so it's a bit of a break. Is that a good time to have a break?
I think
go
so.
either way.
I think so. I think Arsenal over the last 2-3 months, a lot of talk has been about how many are they going to win? Can they handle the pressure? Can they get over the line? There's 7 games left, 8 games left, whatever it may be. I feel like probably now is a good time for them just to go, look, we can reset. Arteta can have a bit of a break. The players can go and do something different, which is obviously either international duty, or they can have a little holiday, a little breakaway, and then come back sort of refocused, re-energized, ready for the last sort of 2 months of the season. And I think it's going to be exciting because, City win that game in hand, it's 6 points, and then you play each other, I think, the week after.
3, yeah.
It could be 3
Can't get away from them, man.
It could be 3 points with what, 6 games to go. This
is my point. Yeah, like a lot of people have been making noise.
It could also not be. City are not the City that we know. They could go and slip up. You could beat them at the Etihad. It's going to be interesting. I think if it gets down to 3 points and there's six games to go, it will be interesting to see how, because Arsenal historically under Arteta don't play well under pressure. And if they're under pressure and City play first and City get, ahead on goal difference or whatever it may be, how do Arsenal react to having, being in front all season and then all of a sudden right at the line, you're finding yourself behind with a couple of games to go? It's going to be, be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is my point. A lot, I know last week we were making a lot of noise and excitement over the 9-point gap. But realistically, coming down to it, the 9 points becomes 6 with the game in hand, as you said. And if City go and beat us at Etihad, that becomes 3. 3 points is nothing. We've seen leads much bigger be dropped at this time of the season. I mean, Liverpool themselves have experienced it. Yeah, like it's very frightening. And just touching on Sunday as well, you mentioned the Kepa mistake. I heard a lot of rubbish about the Kepa error and how we shouldn't have started Kepa. We can blame him till the cows come home. That whole team were horrendous. I'm sorry, but the second half performance especially, not one player deserved to win that match. Not one player out of the 11 played well enough to have won a match, never mind a trophy. And we just didn't look like scoring, to be honest, like you said, Dale. And the one thing I'll say, an all-round bad performance, which I don't ever want to see again. And the problem is now every match we look at is going to be a cup final. You've just touched on it, Dale, on how tight it is now. Realistically, if City do get something on the 19th of April when we go to the Etihad, that lead will come to 3. Chances are they probably beat Palace as well. I don't know when that's going to get played, but if that's before or after, the gap could just be 3 points. So we're going to need to treat every game like we did last Sunday. If we perform like that ever again, God knows what could happen.
To be fair, though, looking at your fixtures, I don't really see many games that you lose. I mean, you've got Bournemouth at home, which you'd expect you to win. Man City away, okay, that could be, even if you get a point out of that one, it's a good point. Newcastle at home, you'll win. Fulham at home, you'll win. West Ham away could be a banana skin, but I'd still suggest that you're probably going to win that one. Burnley at home, which you'll win, and then Palace away on the last day of the season. So I don't know. I don't feel like you'll drop enough points for them to catch you, even if they beat you. I think they made their mistakes when they failed to win them games. I can't remember who they played, but they played they play at home and they drew like 3-3 or something stupid. Was that Forest or something like that?
About the Forest draw.
Yeah, I think they could have got like 3 points behind you at that point, and then they drew at home to Forest or something like that. And then I think that was it. It was kind of like, I think this is done.
Yeah. I think it was. I think it was Forest.
2-2 or 3-3.
Yeah, 2-2. That was it. Yeah.
It was Forest, literally.
Yeah, it was a great comeback from them as well. To be fair, but yeah, I think that's what, like you mentioned. We have games realistically where we should be home and dry. I think that's why, on paper, but performing the way we did on Sunday, and like we have done, if I'm going to be honest, in numerous amount of times this season, we've performed like that. If we perform like that, am I confident we get results against Newcastle at home, Bournemouth at home, Palace away, West Ham away?
Do you know what the biggest statement would be? The biggest statement that Arsenal could and Arteta could go and do is just go and beat City at the Etihad. I know it's easier said than done. Don't go there looking for a draw because you can lose. So you might as well go for it. I'd be saying to the players, look, we could lose this game if we open up. Of course we can. But also, if we win this game today, that's it. We're done. We're home and hosed. Yeah. Just go for it. There's no need for him to go there and try and play for a draw. Just let them off the leash and say, go and make a statement. You go and beat City, we win the league. It's that simple.
We're going to need players to step up then. Arteta, one and foremost, he's going to be the man that needs to, get in the dressing room and say the right thing to him. But players like Gyökeres, Eze's out now. We don't know when he's returning. So I imagine Havertz is going to need to step up. Odegaard's going to need to come straight in, guns firing. I don't know what the team... Well, yeah, I don't know what the team is going to be because there's so many injuries that we've heard of. I don't know what's actually going on there. I don't know whether it's a statement or we're just keeping players back just to be cautious. But the players are going to need to step up. Like we saw Gyökeres score a hat trick for Sweden last night. Bring that energy home. Bring it into the Emirates Stadium where we need it. But we'll see. I mean, it's that 19th of April. It's going to be nerves all round. I think beers are going to be flying at 10 o'clock for me. But yeah, we will move on to the big news that was announced at the last week, which was Dale. We got to stick with you for this one. Obviously, you've been on the channel. We've spoke about this man over years, and just the credit that he's given to Liverpool. But what was your first reaction to the man that is Mo Salah leaving Liverpool at the end of the season?
To be honest, I'm not really surprised. I was kind of expecting. I didn't ever expect him to sign a 2-year deal and see out that 2 years. The only surprising bit to me was that we're not getting a fee for him. Yeah. I think that was the only bit because I thought when they gave him the contract on the back of last season, where he was arguably probably his best ever season. So you had to give him a new contract. But I always said they didn't want to give him a 2-year deal. They wanted to give him a 1-year deal, but he wouldn't sign a 1-year deal. So I think it was a case of, okay, have the 2-year deal, but we're going to sell you next summer anyway. We'll get a little bit of money for you, and everyone moves on. But it probably just shows that Slot's probably not going anywhere. I know Liverpool fans keep saying Slot's gone at the end of the season. To me, this doesn't say that Slot's going at the end of the season. This tells me that they've picked Slot and they're going to persist with Slot and they're going to give him the time. And I think probably looking at the Arteta sort of mould where after 2 or 3 years, Arsenal fans were done with him. They didn't want him. They stuck with him. And now he's built a team, and he's got his players and you're on the cusp of challenging for pretty much everything. And I think that's kind of where Liverpool are with it, that probably too often people throw the toys out the pram and a few bad results or a few bad seasons. And then you change the manager. So I think Salah probably knows next season he's not going to be part of Slot's plans. Yeah. I think the little fallout that they had earlier in the season, this has probably been agreed since back then, and it's just been a case of, we'll let you know when you can let everybody else know that this is what's going to happen. So yeah, I think not surprised. I think he doesn't owe Liverpool anything. We've had 8-9 years of pretty much, he's hardly missed a game in that time. He's never injured. He's never let us down. He's always been the man for the big occasion. But I think ultimately you're 34 years old, going to be 35 in the summer, I think, or 33, going to be 34. And maybe, just sort of father time's caught up with him. Liverpool needs to go in a different direction. We've got Verts, Ekatike, Isak all to fit in the team. Where does Salah fit into that? And I don't think Salah's prepared to be a squad player, which I don't.
Not on those wages either. I mean,
yeah. So I just think I think it's the right decision. I think it's the right time. I think next season Liverpool need a bit of a shake-up. We need to change the way we do things. I think the 4-3-3 system that we've been playing is a little bit not outdated, but I just feel like with the players that we've got now, it probably doesn't work. And I think he wants to go to playing with 2 up front, with bombarding fullbacks and
I miss 4-4-2. Like, you don't see it anymore, do you?
I think it works. I think he's going to go with a diamond. I think he's going to go with 4 at the back with Kirkes and potentially Bradley, or a new right back coming in who can give us the width. I think he'll play with potentially a new 6 in there, maybe a Wharton or someone like that. I think he'll go with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai playing in front of that holding midfielder with Wirtz in the 10. And I think Alexis McAllister might leave this summer as well. I think there's a lot of talk about him going to Real Madrid. He's not been at his best this year, and we'll probably get 50
I feel like he's had his time at Liverpool, to be fair.
I think we'll get 50 or 60 million for him. We only paid 30 for him, so they're probably looking at that going, we can double our money on him. I think he probably struggles with the pace of the Premier League at times. I think he's more suited to maybe a slower league. He's played a hell of a lot of football in the last sort of 3-4 years. So I think that's the way it's going to go. I think the team's going to be built around Wirtz, Ekitike, and Isak. I think that's how they're going to do it.
And like you say, Salah doesn't fit into that, to be honest.
Salah doesn't fit into that. No, I think unless you're going to play Salah as part of a 2 up front, which I don't think he's really suited to. I think also you're just looking at the wages. They're probably thinking, look, he's on 400 grand a week. We can get that off the wage bill and put that towards bringing in maybe 2 or 3 players that will be on 100 grand each or 150 grand each. That gets you basically his salary. So not surprised, not even that sad about it, to be honest with you. I'm a bit sort of indifferent. I don't really get emotionally involved with players. The only player that ever broke my heart was Torres. That when he left, that was, and then after that, I vowed I would never let a player sort of emotionally kill me like that again. So
I think you mentioned as well, like I don't think it's much of a shock to anybody, to be honest. Personally, wasn't for me. I think the timing was, and the fact that we've literally just gone past January. I think that was maybe a huge error from Liverpool. I can't imagine there wasn't a knock on the door from someone in Saudi.
I just don't think they could sell him in January because we just don't have the squad depth. You take Salah out.
I'm guessing it was
decent Salah.
It would have been too quick. Like, and
if Isak was fit and Isak's been fit all season, then you may have seen him go. Yeah, but I just don't think you could have sold him with Isak being out for as long as he's been out for. So
yeah, I think.
Can I ask you? Sorry if this is going to go off topic or anything. So rein me in then if that's not. Where does he rate for you in the greatest of Premier League players ever?
Rein me in. I love that, by the way. Love the Olivia Dean metaphor. Go on, son. I don't
know. Listen, he's not better than Henry, as much as people say. I don't.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
He's not better than Hazard. If you're looking at a footballer in terms of the way they move the ball and just take away the stats, take stats aside. If you're watching 2 players play football, he's not as good as Hazard. He's not as good as Ryan Giggs. He's not as good as Beckham. I don't think he's as good a footballer as them. But what he is if you look at his stats, then you would have to say that he's probably right up there. You look at Shearer's stats, you look at Henry's stats, you look at anyone you want to put in that Aguero, he's probably right up there. But I think if you're just looking from a football perspective and what he does with a football, he's not the easiest on the eye, is he? Look, he's scored some incredible goals, he's had some incredible moments, and he's won everything there is to win. But he's going to go down as a Premier League great. I think he's 4th on the all-time Premier League goal scoring charts, and who knows how many. He might get a few more before he leaves in the summer. It'd be in the top. It'd be in the top 10. I think. I think it'd be definitely top 10, whatever order that looks like.
Yeah,
I think
I've seen a lot of this come out, actually. I'm glad Sam brought that up, because there has been a lot of noise and talk about where he fits in the Premier League. One thing is, he's a legend, 100%. Like what he's done for Liverpool will never be done again. And there's been a lot of noise about, why is he going on a free? Trent went on a free. People are moaning about Trent while they're not moaning about Salah. Just touching back on the wages, I think Liverpool fans should appreciate that this is happening, because you're looking at $1.5 million a month that's going towards one player. Yeah, 350 grand a week. That's $1.5 million a month. You look at that in a year, it's a lot of money going towards someone that's not going to give you the output he once did. You know, he's at his peak. He's never going to be as good as he once was, and this is as good as you're going to get from him. I think, you know, time's up. Cut your losses and move on. He's done Liverpool as much of a favour as they have to him, to be honest, and he's earned his flowers. You know, like his consistency throughout 8 years for £35 million. We need to remember as well. It's the best transfer business you're ever going to see from the Premier League. Like, you look now at what you pay and what you potentially don't get back for it. What he's given to Liverpool for so many years consistently is phenomenal. It's irreplaceable. You know, the probably big guess of who they'll try and go for would be Michael Olise, I imagine.
Is he gettable?
I'd like us to go for someone. I know that Diamande from RB Leipzig's been mentioned, but to be honest with you, I'd take Minter at Brighton.
I think he's
20, 21 years old. With you know, because Minter can come in and he doesn't have to play. Because like I said, I think they're going to go with Ekitike, Isak, and Wirtz as almost like a front three. And I think what you could do then is, say, for instance, Wirtz is injured or Ekitike is injured or Isak's injured.
Switch it up.
You can switch it up and put a Minter on and then change the formation so that you go with a 3 up front. And then you've still got Rio, who's coming through, I think will become more and more prevalent. So I think you get a Diamande or a Minter, you have Rio, you have Isak with Ekitike, you've still got Gakpo there as well. You've got Wirtz. All of a sudden you have 2 or 3 ways of playing, and you can mix it up within a game. I don't think we need to necessarily go and buy. I've heard some people say like we need to go and buy like a Vinicius Junior type player. I don't think
Absolutely
we do.
Not. No.
I think you go and buy an up and coming 20, 21-year-old who can sit on the bench sometimes, can come in and play sometimes. And then because you've got Isak and Ekitike, they have to, after the season Ekitike's had, he has to start, and you have to start Isak because, you know, Isak's 100 and whatever he was £1 million striker. You're not going to leave him on the bench. So I don't see them going and buying like a superstar player. I would have, I think Minter at Brighton or someone like him would be. We was linked with Salah for years from Palace. He's still only about 24, 25. Someone like him could come in and
maybe a big move's what he needs. Maybe a big move's how he shines, you know.
I think that's how we go about it. You can probably get Minter out of Brighton for what, 30, 35 million, maybe a bit more, between 40, 45. I think
got to be realistic in what you can spend as well. I know you're cutting his wages out of the picture, but you're not making any money periodly from.
If we don't get the Champions League, then it throws everything out the window anyway. So we've still got to take care of that. And I'm hoping that this kind of puts Liverpool fans in a little bit of sort of a celebrationary mood rather than, you know, it's been a bit sort of doom and gloom. And I'm hoping now that everyone will just sort of rally around trying to give Salah a massive send-off, whether that be an FA Cup win with a top 4 finish, or lo and behold, I mean, worse Liverpool teams have won the Champions League than this, and I wouldn't put it beyond us going deep in that competition as well. Obviously, I know we've got a tough draw in the next round, and the way we're playing, it probably just isn't going to happen. But you know, Champions League's an odd competition, and you don't have to be the best team to win it. So
let's stick on Champions League, because we spoke offline about something yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on it. Obviously, PSG have been granted basically a week off. I don't know what other way to call it. They've obviously been allowed to postpone their match in their league. Liverpool, however, still in the FA Cup, like you say. You're in a Premier League race for the top 4. You're still going to have to do business as usual, and then you're going to have to go and play the likes of PSG twice. What was your thoughts on the announcement that PSG were allowed to?
Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This is what the European teams do. They look after their teams, and it's only the Premier League who don't do this. You know, I think it's the only league where we don't move fixtures. But look, I mean, we're not going to be the favourites to beat PSG over 2 legs, let's face it. The only saving grace to it is that the second leg's at home. So if we can go to PSG, you know, keep it tight and come away with a slender loss or a, God forbid, a draw, you know, at Anfield, we'll give anyone a game, as we've proven, you know, this season. We beat them last year. We won away. We got battered for the whole game. I think Alisson had the game of his life. And then Harvey Elliott scored a late winner, and we got him back to Anfield and lost. So, to be fair, what I've just said's a load of old tosh. So, I don't know. Like you just don't know what to expect from Liverpool. You know, we played Galatasaray the other week, and we looked like the old Liverpool. We looked like we had energy. We were flooding forward. We were pressing, and then we played Brighton, and it was the same nonsense we've been seeing all season: slow,
The Welbeck show,
sideways, backwards, not pressing, letting the other teams out without it. We just. I don't know what he wants us to be. And I think that's
Ekitike looked brilliant yesterday, though, didn't he? I saw his goals this morning for France. Looks absolutely unbelievable.
I think pound for pound, he's probably been one up there as signing of the season. I know he's not. You know, if he takes us to winning a trophy, which is unlikely, but you never know. I think you'd argue he's been signing of the season. To be fair, he was the one that I was saying I wasn't too sure on. A lot of money for somebody who's not really done it. But from that first game he played in the Charity Shield or Community Shield. Was it the Community Shield game? Against Palace, yeah. Community Shield against Palace. I just watched him and thought, Jesus, what the hell have we signed? He reminds me of like Benzema when he sort of went to Real Madrid. But yeah, he's
exciting, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been brilliant. So yeah, well, look, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not surprised that PSG have got a week off to come and play us. You know.
Yeah. Well,
I think people forget though as well. Let me jump in. Is that they've had to. It's not just the PSG decision; it's the French League decision as well. They've asked the French League to do it, and they've granted it.
I think also as well, PSG have not stopped playing football, though, have they? I mean, they played football all through last summer with the Club World Cup. They've then gone into this season, and they haven't stopped. So I do get it from their perspective. And listen, the French Football Federation wants a French team to win it again, don't they? So they're going to do everything they can to help them. Listen. If we turn up and we play as well as we can play, you know, there's no reason why we can't get through. But it's going to be a lot dependent on that first leg. If we go there and we get hammered, if we can't go to Brighton and put in a performance, then God help us. But, you know, if we can go there and we can come out with a 2-1 defeat or a 1-0 defeat or a 0-0 or a 1-0, just any sort of result where the tie is still alive. If we go there and lose 3-0, it's done. We're out.
You need to keep it tight, don't you? Even a 2-1 loss would be all right for you, to be honest.
Fine, yeah. Any 1-goal loss, I'd accept. You know, a 0-0 draw, 1-1. If we go there and get beat 3-4-1,
I can't see it though. I can't see you getting smashed there. I can't.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, I think we've not been smashed all season, really. I know PSV beat us quite heavily in one of the Champions League games. I think that was 4-1. But other than that, I don't really remember us getting beaten heavily.
Champions League, you seem to be consistent, in my opinion.
I think it suits. I think the way we play is more suited to the Champions League because teams will come out and have a go, and it's also a bit more of a slower format. I think in the Premier League, teams sit back and they hit you on the break fast. We struggle with that transition to when we lose the ball, we don't stop teams then breaking on us very well, and that's where
it's a bit like Premier League, like when Premier League players don't shine in their Premier League and then they go on to international call-ups and they're a completely different player. And speaking of which, we will touch on England because I know we've got to go off air soon. Sam, I'll come to you first because I know there's some things you want to bring up, but call-ups for England obviously was announced shortly after with the Mo Salah decision. Quite a lot of interesting decisions made, shall we say. From an Arsenal perspective, a lot of players have been dropped out. I know Eze obviously was replaced by Harvey Barnes. Ben White finally making his name in the England team. We'll see what happens there. But give me your thoughts.
We were talking about that last week, weren't we? But again, I thought, sorry to jump in on you, but I just think, did Tuchel see his performance at Wembley? How he,
the one time to do it,
I don't understand how he got a call up after that. I know he's not responsible directly for all the goals. The second one's his fault because it's the back post, isn't it? Like both of them. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be Mr. Negative all the time, boys, but I cannot get up for international football at the moment. I think is it because England are boring to watch? Like I said, I put a couple of things in our little private chat here about how I don't want to watch them and how much they do my nut in. But just again, similar to kind of touching on what Dale said about that, I don't see. Well, in regards to what you said about Liverpool, I don't see how Tuchel wants to play for England. I don't know. Can you say, are we a counter-pressing team? Are we a defensive approaching team? Are we on the front foot type of team? You can't see it with England.
I wouldn't be able to tell you at the moment.
I couldn't tell you. And again, it's just frustrating. I mean, again, I don't know if Deckers is still planning to go. Has he dropped out or not? I know, obviously, like you said, Saka's kind of pulled out, but again, it's just a lot of games at this time of the season where we could really be doing without it. It's friendlies. I'd like to see them call up on some of the players, like your Ben Whites. Again, like I said, I know he had a shocker, but you want to see those type of players in and around the fold. I know he's taken what? Is he taking 25 or 30 of 20?
32. So it's 32, and then we get 25 to take to wherever they're going, America. Or whatever.
I think these games this weekend and this week, that he should have just picked the players that he wasn't sure on. So like, there's no need for Harry Kane or Declan Rice to play. They go in. You know, there's no need for Jordan Pickford to play. He's going. There's no need to him go to camp. He's playing. Like, they go in. That, you know, I'd almost say to look, there's probably 12 or 13 players that are nailed on. You know who they are. There's another 10 spots potentially up for grabs. I'm going to select a squad of 33 players or 35 players, whatever it may be. But they're all players who maybe haven't had a cap, haven't had a call-up, haven't been in any of the camps before. And you're going to play these games, and you're going to be the ones that are fighting for them 10 spaces. And you've got an opportunity to show me. Like, why does he need to see Harry Kane play another game? Like, he doesn't need to be there. Like, why do you need to see Declan Rice play another game? He's going. We all know he's going. So you don't need him there. Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, do they need to be in the squad? I haven't seen the squad, but I'm assuming they're in it.
I haven't seen it either. But like, touch on Foden, it'd probably be a good opportunity for him to actually get some football.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's certain players who I think should have been in it. Like, I think Ben White, yeah, sure. Like, he's an English fullback. He hasn't been in the fold. Tuchel's not worked with him up close. Bring him into the fold and see what he offers, and if Tuchel likes what he does. But these games are so fucking pointless.
Yeah.
So
everyone's just, you can't get up for it, can you?
To be honest, I'm not a massive international. I watch the World Cup and I watch the big tournaments, but these friendlies they're just pointless.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, the missus is out tonight and I've got the kids, so the chances are I'm not going to be putting England on my TV, and I wouldn't anyway, because at the moment the football just doesn't excite me. Like Dale says, for the big tournaments, for the World Cup, of course I'm pitching in, but at the moment the football's not convincing.
Do you know what the biggest travesty is? How the hell has Danny Welbeck not got in that squad?
Yeah, I was just going to bring this up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How did Solanke get picked over Danny Welbeck?
Yeah,
well.
And he plays in a position where
he's never been as good as Welbeck, and he's not better than Welbeck now. So how?
It's the age thing, though, isn't it? I think the longevity. They're not gonna. Why are they bringing him in? I suppose just for this.
Well, he's brought bloody Jason Steele. I mean, how old's that geezer? Like, I know he's done it.
Isn't this what every manager does?
Yeah.
There's a player in the Premier League, in Danny Welbeck, who for the last 2 or 3 seasons at Brighton has been scoring goals left, right, and centre. All right, he's 36, 37. So fucking what?
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way: Brighton are relegated if you take Danny Welbeck out of them for like the last 2 seasons.
If I'm asking you an honest question now, right? Say it's 10 minutes left of a game in the World Cup in the quarterfinals against Brazil. You've got the opportunity to bring on Dominic Solanke or Danny Welbeck. Who are you both picking?
Yeah, I'm probably picking Welbeck to be.
Yeah, Welbeck.
I'm picking Welbeck.
100%.
All I ever think about is that. Do you boys remember that England-Wales game? Those scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, with Sturridge, yeah. And I just remember that team that summer. There's players back then that you wouldn't usually think you'd have to like call up on. And you know, all of a sudden they turned up. I feel like Welbeck could be like someone with that. Someone that can just come on off the bench and deliver something. I don't think Solanke is going to be.
You know what it is as well with Welbeck? It's you're bringing in experience that not many of the lads in the team will have. You know, he's played at Man United, he's played at Arsenal, he's played at Brighton, he's been in the Premier League for what, 15 years? He must have been in there for a good
experience. Experience alone, he should be there, man.
Like, for me, he's almost. If I was picking a team, if he's fit and available, I'd say he's in. I wouldn't even be thinking about anybody else. Obviously, Kane starts, and who's the best understudy to Kane right now? I'd say Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, I mean, I think there isn't many real options either. Like, if you look at it, the only real options are what? Rashford, you touched on Solanke. Calvert-Lewin, I feel like he's fallen off. He started well, but he's fallen off a bit.
I'd still have Welbeck over them.
Yeah, I'd have Welbeck over both of them. And I mean, Rashford, he's not realistically out-and-out striker. He can play on the left.
Someone who knows how to score goals, right? It's all well and good saying, well, he can't run in behind and he can't do this, but you're not going to be taking him for that. You're going to take him for the last 5-10 minutes of a game, potentially extra time, where you need an experienced head who knows where the ball's going to drop in the box. And to be honest, there's no one better in the league at that than Danny Welbeck. Look at the goals he scored against Liverpool the other day. He's in the right place at the right time because he's got the experience to know where the ball's going to drop.
100%.
I just think Tuchel's going to make a massive mistake.
And now that he's not taking it, if you're not going to take him in a 35-man squad,
oh yeah, he's not going.
He's not going. This is what disappoints me. As much as I think these international friendlies are a bunch of garbage, this is the bit that annoys me, that he's not selecting the right players for this. If he gets this wrong when he's got more to work with, how is it going to go when we've got a 25-man squad to pick? You know, is he going to get that wrong?
Let's face it, Harry Kane's playing every single game that we have. Even if we win the first 2 group games, he ain't resting Harry Kane for the third one.
He's gonna be key, I think. I think the problem is he's been sensational for Kane for Bayern. Now he's coming in for England. He's going to be a principal reason behind England's success, because we have nothing else to work with at the moment. And someone like Welbeck could be something else to work with. I know it's a long shot, but I don't see why you'd not have confidence in him this season after what the performances he's given.
I think the problem that Welbeck's always had is he's always been quite injury prone, and he's never really been prolific at the top level. And maybe they're looking at it going, well, he's only really started to shine at a lesser level with Brighton, but he's still scoring goals in what people still describe as the hardest league in the world to score goals in, and he's still getting his fair share for a team that like you say, arguably are punching above their weight. And you know, I don't know. I just think the international managers fall into the same trap every single time of trying to pick players that I don't know that they like rather than the players who are just in form. Danny Welbeck's in form. He's experienced. He back up Harry Kane better than anyone else, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, Saka, Palmer, Foden, it's going to be a big summer for them. It's all going to need to gel together quickly, from my opinion, anyway.
But from what you've seen from maybe not so much Saka, but from Palmer and Foden this season, do they warrant being in the squad?
Probably not. No.
Really?
No.
Over some other players?
Can I be honest? I think it's just easy. I think it's a walk in the park for them because they know they're going to get picked. Because
like Morgan Gibbs-White and Morgan Rogers.
Unbelievable this season. Yeah.
Are we not talking about? We're talking about. All the conversations I hear is, who's going to start in the 10 for England? Is it going to be Phil Foden? Is it going to be Bellingham? Or is it going to be Palmer? For me,
I'd actually start Rodgers personally.
I think Morgan Gibbs-White deserves it.
Mm.
He's playing for a Nottingham Forest side that are low in the league, and he just looks like the best player on the pitch every time I see him play. Morgan Rogers has done well, but I think the last couple of months he's been a bit quiet.
Yeah, I just like him, to be fair, Morgan Rogers. I like what he brings. He's a bit different. But yeah, speaking of Forest, we got to touch on this before we come off. Haven't managed to speak to you as much about Spurs. Obviously, we touched on it last week with Sam. Relegation 6-pointer, 3-0. They lose at home to Nottingham Forest. I mean, I don't know what's happening there, but that was the big game. You know, that was the ice break for Tottenham. That was the time to lift fans. Didn't manage to do it. Are they going down or not, Dale? You tell me.
Well, the stars are aligning for.
Yeah.
If the stars align, we could be living in a world where Stevenage and Tottenham are playing in the same league.
Oh,
Imagine that next season. Spurs at the Lamex. That's my dream. Not so much just because I want Spurs to go down, more because I just want Stevenage to get promoted. And then it'd be amazing if Spurs went down and we play Spurs next season. But I don't think they're going to go down, mate, somehow. I just don't. I feel like West Ham are going to go down. If you gave me a fiver and said who's going to go down, I think West Ham. I just don't think West Ham will. I mean, saying that, but then Spurs ain't won a game all year. I don't know. I don't think they'll go down.
Yeah, I was chatting to a friend yesterday, and he said
they'll get out of it.
He said there's a match between, I think there's Leeds versus West Ham at the end of the season, and he said that could be the decider. Spurs
someone could say if I think Chelsea played Tottenham the second to last game of the season, and I think by that point, if results go the way that everyone expects them to, or the sort of form suggests they will, Chelsea could relegate Spurs on that day.
Imagine that. Jesus. It'll be like the Hazard moment all over again when Hazard won the league for Leicester.
So West Ham's fixtures are they've got Wolves at home next week or the week after. So you'd expect them to win that. They've got Palace away, which, you know, not necessarily a win, but they could pick up a point maybe in that one. They've got Everton at home, which they could quite easily win, I feel. Brentford away, which will be a tough game for them. Arsenal at home, which will be a tough game for them. But we've had Newcastle away is a tough game for them. And then, the Leeds United game at home. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I think Spurs' fixtures are horrible.
Yeah. I think if I'm back in, I'm looking at the managers at the moment as well. I'm looking at Igor Tudor or Nuno. I quite rate Nuno. I haven't seen anything.
Nuno's got a bit more about him. I mean, Spurs have got Sunderland away. Fucking good luck. They've got Brighton at home. Good luck. Wolves away, which they should probably win. They've got Villa away. Good luck. They've got Leeds at home, which is a massive game.
That's a 6-pointer again. Yeah.
And then they've got Chelsea away, which they could be relegated by. And then they've got Everton at home. So,
Jesus. I mean, even the Everton game isn't solid. They've been worse at home than away this season.
Yeah, see, I've got a feeling that West Ham, I mean, looking at that, I'd be more confident as a West Ham fan than I would a Spurs.
Yeah, I think the management is just all over the place. That it was the worst. I said before, and I'll say it again, such a bad decision to bring him in. Like, there's managers out there that would put their blood, back, and everything into. You need a manager like that when you're in a relegation battle. You need someone that's got some history with the club, a connection with the club, that's going to pour his heart and soul into it.
He had a good track record of being able to do good things with teams in little amounts of time.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't.
It's not worked well. Even like a Harry Redknapp, get him off the Cheltenham course and get him into the bloody dugout.
I mean, Harry Redknapp said he'd do it. I think Tim Sherwood was another one who said he'd come in and he'd do it. I think Robbie Keane has said he'd do it as well. So there was people there, but maybe they've just looked at it and gone, like, we need someone proven in this. I mean, Harry Redknapp is proven. He's kept Portsmouth up. He's kept Southampton up. He's kept he's kept teams up before. So I just think it's a lot to do with the players, mate. I think, like we spoke on before, if you have a back four with Romero in it, you're pretty much already onto a bad thing. If you've got Romero's your best defender and Solanke's your best striker, you ain't winning many football matches.
Yeah, well, it had to be Gibbs White anyway that scored against them. Obviously, all the transfer window last summer, threatening to sue and all that, and karma just comes back and bites you, doesn't it? Gets you in the arse. But yeah,
Mr. Marinakis would have sat there with a nice big smile on his face after that one.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting. I'll tell you what, it's going to really heat up. We were talking about the title race earlier on and how it's going to get interesting. The whole thing, the top four.
I think the relegation battle is going to be more
relegation battle. It's all going to get really lively. I can't wait for Premier League. I need the break. I need the international and the FA Cup break. But I'm looking forward to it happening again so that it can all unfold, because it's really getting close to that time now. We're in April next week. There's only 6 weeks left of the Premier League, and it's all up in the air. No one knows what's going to happen in any part of the table. But yeah, we will be back after the breaks. Hopefully England give us some exciting performances and get some wins over the line. Make sure you smash the like button and please hit the subscribe if you are new. We'll chat to you soon. Cheers, guys.